Imagine going to sleep to the sound of those waves. Then imagine waking up every day to this view. This is your backyard. This is your backyard and private beach. Palm trees are your closest neighbors. This was how our life on Molokai was for 5 glorious days. Our trip was extremely affordable, not hard to swing on an island that prides itself on not attracting much in the way of tourism. If loud parties and luau's are your idea of a Hawaiian vacation, don't go to Molokai, please. We rented one of the Dunbar Cottages and were not disappointed in the least. Privacy was our main requirement, and privacy was what we got.
Here's the backyard. When we get real ambitious, we'll walk clear down there and sit in the chairs and watch the ocean. These rocks here are submerged pretty much now because it's just a little bit past high tide. But when it's low tide, we'll show you what they are. They're part of an ancient Hawaiian archaeological area, and they're the wall of a fish pond. It was built hundreds of years ago, and they herded fish in there to catch them. And that's the view headed down the coast south of us. At low tide, you can walk out there. It's a white sand beach, but right now the tide's in, so you'd get your delicates wet out there, I think.
Here's our back deck, where we spent our mornings and evenings enjoying the view as we ate and drank. Right now it's time to enjoy one more cup of coffee before heading out to explore the island in our rental Fiat.
That's about a worthless car. It's a Fiat.
Finally found a car that our Prius could outrun.
Yeah, could ace it every time. Has no guts at all. I can run faster and not make as many weird noises.
But at least it did get us around the island. We started out by heading east, and wow, what a spectacular treat that was. Beautiful, lush vegetation, amazing vista after amazing vista. Whether from up above in the hills or right next to the ocean. We stopped and oohed and awed a lot. We drove on almost to the end of the road and discovered a church out in the middle of nowhere where we just had to check it out. Just look at the beautiful surroundings of this little place. No shortage of lush greenery anywhere on this island, including here. We decided to take a look inside. We were surprised to find it fully set up, fresh flowers and all. In silent awe, we left the church and drove a little ways to a beautiful park at the end of the road. Here we enjoyed more lush surroundings and plenty of palm trees, plenty of huge palms, I should say. We explored more of the park and marveled at the palm berries that adorned many of those trees. Then Chris had to try his hand at talking to the mynah birds. He did a pretty good job at keeping them occupied, or maybe vice versa. So after a wonderful afternoon at the park, we headed back and then wanted to see what all the fuss was about of a certain one-lane bridge.
Okay, let's hope we hit it right. I don't want to have to back all the way across the damn thing. Coming around the corner, and here is the one-lane bridge.
There it is. There it is.
Okay.
One lane.
We made it across.
Woo! And all that place to park for all the backup.
Yep. We skated through one more time.
We also decided to stop in at a ranch store we had seen on the way earlier. And I took in the surroundings while Chris went inside, escorted by a couple of chickens, to get us something to drink. The beauty around us virtually the entire day was astounding, almost sensory overload. We took our time getting back to the cottage and reveled in all the birds we saw. Chris had already discovered some of the zebra doves earlier this morning at the cottage.
I guess they're huddling together to keep warm. It's dipped clear down into the 60s. Poor things are probably just having a heck of a time with this cold snap. Yeah, maybe it's 70, but it's first thing in the morning.
But we had plenty of chances to spot more of them after they warmed up a little. Brazilian red-capped cardinals were everywhere. There were also plenty of what the islanders call cattle egrets, smaller versions of the egrets we have in Oregon. They were seen everywhere, whether in people's backyards, in trees, or even on the road.
There he is, right in the middle of the road. A white stripe, and a white stripe, and a white bird.
Chickens, or as the locals refer to them, wild jungle fowl, were also common. But what really took our breath away was the black-crowned night heron we ran into, enjoying the ocean breeze. He certainly didn't seem bothered by us as we admired him up close. Returning home, we noticed that the tide was back out and we enjoyed some drinks before dinner, taking in some lazy sightseeing from our back porch.
Cheers. Is that a boat? Yeah, it is.
Yes, you know you're relaxed when you're just looking at boats, but you know you're really relaxed when you enjoy something that isn't even real. Check out this seal we spotted in the waves. Nope, just a floating coconut. Chris got sidetracked with this huge spider he spotted, which seemed to also be on Hawaii time, just enjoying the breeze, eating his lunch. But then we were thoroughly entertained by the critters that blended right into our beach at first. The crabs. Never thought crabs had a personality until watching these guys. They seemed to know they were being filmed and disappeared as soon as we got the camera out.
The wily crab. Whoop. He's a smart one. Ooh, damn. I'm gonna watch them sneaker waves. Waiting for a traffic light. Here we go. Hi, Fred. Hi, Mom. How's the wife and kids?
So we entertained ourselves with lazy sightseeing until time for dinner and bed, sleeping to the sound of the ocean. Ah. We woke up to another spectacular view and marveled at the fact that we had a coral reef in our backyard as well.
Another day in paradise, quite literally.
We found evidence of this reef on our beach daily, and the breaking waves in front of us told the story as well.
Kind of nice having a coral reef in your backyard when you sit down to breakfast. Well, we can see the big waves forming out there, and they want to come in, but they all hit the reef and they kind of break up, and what makes it in is a reduced version of what's headed towards us. But you can see them break out there, and that's the reef.
So fascinated by the coral reef, we decided to get up close and personal by snorkeling around the east end. We love entering this whole underwater world of coral and pretty fish, and we turned into prunes from snorkeling all day. Not a bad way to spend the day. And here's a great way to end the day, sipping drinks in a local restaurant, watching the sun go down. Phew! The next day we decided to explore other parts of the island. It was hard to leave our East End bliss. But we tore ourselves away and headed north to see what we could see. At the north end in Kalawa'u, on the east end of the Kalaupapa Peninsula, you can learn about Father Damien, also known as Saint Damien of Molokai, who in 1865 set up a quarantine colony for those who had leprosy. His mission included 16 years of caring for the physical, spiritual, and emotional needs of those in the leper colony, and he himself died of leprosy, giving him the distinction of being a martyr of charity. We oohed and awed from above, and then admired the tallest cliffs of Hawaii as well.
Mighty pretty. Mighty pretty. Long ways down, you don't want to slip here. Be like one of those cliff divers, except you'd bounce a couple of times.
And Chris had to editorialize about our poor rental car.
Supposed to be the tallest cliffs in Hawaii. I bet our Fiat could get up to nearly 60 miles an hour coming down one of those cliffs.
But our Fiat did get us from the north side to the west side of the island, where we enjoyed more incredible coastline. Another beautiful beach on Molokai, and we've got it to ourselves. Look at that.
Oh, good. There's nobody in the parking lot.
Look at that. Look at that.
Let's get out and see what it looks like.
Okay. The west side of Molokai has an interesting story attached to it, the abbreviated version going like this. A developer wanted to build up the west end and make Molokai rich. The island of Molokai came back with a resounding no. We were glad they did.
Boy, you can see how the old lava just rolled right out of Hakimaki or whatever volcano it was and came rolling down right into the ocean here.
We gasped and awed at the beautiful coast.
Coming from Oregon, it's pretty hard to be impressed. This is a pretty good coast.
We agreed that the West End was also absolutely beautiful, then turned our attention to the various surfers, or maybe swimmers is the more accurate term for many of them.
It may have been the one that he wanted right there. Just ain't happening. Our poor struggling soul can't get enough traction. Just gonna wind up drowning out there on the surfboard.
Well, the guy thankfully didn't drown, and we spotted two more surfers who looked like they might do more than paddle. getting quite a ride over there.
I'm gonna try this one. Okay, here we go. Yeah.
Wow, he's doing pretty good. Barely hanging on there. Whoop, there we go. We decided to call his success our success, and we left the West End to head back to our cottage. On the way back, we stopped to appreciate some of the lush vegetation. We stopped at a small church named after St. Damien, and Chris paid his respects to a Union Army veteran Captain Joseph Dutton. We couldn't help ourselves, had to walk on the beach again and marvel at our solitude on this island.
That's what you like to see on a beach. Only one set of footprints and they're your own.
Then Chris picked up a coconut to try out. Luckily, we ran into our neighbor Tony, who offered to show us the whole experience. Oh, look at that. I saw that. Wow. We're set. Thank you so much. Oh, we sat on our back porch sipping coconut juice, watching the surf, and one of the local fishermen. Then Tony surprised us again with a gift from the sea that he and his father caught earlier that day.
Well,
Tony, our buddy down the street.
yeah.
Lobster fresh out of the ocean. Still wiggling its legs a little bit.
Been quite a vacation.
Yeah.
Out here in the backyard.
Yeah. The sun set on our last day here on Molokai. We hated to think about leaving. One more night of sleeping with the waves. Heaven.